All right, so everybody, go ahead and give it up for Matt Besser.
Hi. I'm Matt Besser, and I'm an Arkansas Razorback. My father is a Jew from Little Rock, Arkansas. My mother was a Presbyterian from Northwest Arkansas, and that's what has made me an atheist living in Los Angeles. Now, a lot of people assume that I went to the University of Arkansas. I did not. To be a Razorback fan, all you have to do is live in Arkansas and watch the Razorbacks play football or basketball. I actually went to Amherst College up in Massachusetts, and our mascot were the Lord Jeffs. Exactly. The queerest mascot name ever. That's not a tough mascot. Go Lord Jeffs! Lord it over them! What do you guys go? Sir, did you go to college? Are you in college? What about you, ma'am? No one went to college in here. Did you go to college? Okay, what was your mascot? The Hilltoppers? That's pretty lame too. What's a hilltopper? Go to the top of the hill on them. What is that? It's a goat. Okay. Why didn't they say goats? The mane havers. It's a lion. The long pissers. They're horses. What? So anyway, yeah, I identify myself more as a Razorback. And, you know, red, obviously red, it used to be my favorite color because of the Razorbacks, but red in the last, 8 years has become something else, hasn't it? It's become Republican, intolerant, Christian right, fundamentalist. It's not a cool color anymore. And I'm proud that Arkansas, in particular, is a swing state. That's a hip, sexy version, you know, of a red state. We did not swing blue last time, unfortunately. When's the last time you guys went blue? Before you were born? Pretty much. But I take pride in Little Rock and Placer County that we do go blue, and I think I'm correct in this county went blue last time, right? You should be proud of that. I mean, it's hard. It's like being the only stoner in your class, you know? Yeah, I'm going to get high. I don't care about you guys. I should be proud of that. My grandmother on the Christian side, she was fundamentalist. She was from Northwest Arkansas, and she was very red. She was as red as a witch's clit. She was red, and she very Christian. She would embarrass me with her Christianity. She would pray at a drop of a hat anywhere. How many people here would say grace before meals when you were growing up? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Now, how many of those people would say grace before meals at a restaurant? Okay, we just separated the believers from the true believers. And out of those, was it the hand-holding silent prayer or the God bless this Red Lobster? How many did the out-loud prayers at the restaurant? I don't see, you did, ma'am? Is that why you didn't go to college? Okay. I'm sorry for you too. Yeah, but she would pray all the time. As she got older, she started to write actual letters to God. The prayers were enough, and I have them right here. You probably can't see them. Maybe in these front rows you can, but they're addressed to God, as you can see maybe. Can you guys see that in the back? No, I could be holding up anything right now. But it's true. This one actually has a return address in case it gets lost and gets in the devil's mailbox accidentally. God, this was down at my place. All right, go home. So, yeah, she did that for a while. I don't, obviously as an atheist, I don't believe in prayer. I think if I did believe in prayer, that I would be selfish about it. I would try to slip, you know, my prurient self-interest into otherwise nice prayers. I'd try to be sly about it, you know. I'd be like, Dear Lord, please help the victims of Katrina and help the soldiers over in Iraq And I want to fuck Betty in accounting and feed all the homeless. Amen. Go for it, God. Don't think, just do it. Do your thing. But I'm not just going to criticize up here. I like to do a little research. So what I did is I went online to find out what people who pray about. I went to prayerneed.com, prayernetwork.com, and hollywoodprayernetwork.com. If you guys want to check that out. So I'll read a couple here. Please pray in agreement with me that my ex-boyfriend Tom and I will get back the relationship we once had, and he'll want to marry me again and make another commitment. Please pray Tom will take off the computer his personal ad off of Yahoo. Please pray Tom will still come over this week to watch a movie with me like he said he would, and he'll still go to Huntsville with me this Saturday night. That's a very specific, selfish prayer, and I appreciate that. Just being very honest with God there. This is for all you guys out there, and it particularly pertains to June here. It seems to be a common problem, but I really need your help, Lord, and your prayers to help me defeat it. Summertime and women in very revealing clothing. I have made a covenant with my eyes, and so far I've done fairly well, but I know me, and it's getting warmer and warmer, and the clothes are getting less and less, and without your prayers, dear Lord, and God's help, I'm afraid I will slip back into my old habits of looking and lusting, which of course leads to the inevitable masturbation. Yeah! And that's why you didn't go to college. Fuck that, man! Cool. You see God when you come if you open your eyes. A lot of people close their eyes when they come, but if you open them, God's right in front of you. It's going like this. This is for you Hollywood fans. PAX TV, the family-friendly network, is having trouble. Please pray that they can continue producing quality programming. Also pray for the Christian community to start checking out PAX TV. I like asking the Lord to check things out. He's omnipresent. He's checking everything out. Even UPN. Here's another. Oh. I just crossed the line with you. Don't make fun of UPN. Please pray, this is another one. Please pray for George Gaines. Anyone? Anyone know who George Gaines is? He played Henry on Punky Brewster. This is this year, mind you. He and his wife both need prayers. I pray someone will lead them both to Christ. I know he is 88, and she's well into her 80s as well. Also pray for the salvation of Soleil Moonfry. Of course, it's Punky. You'd think Soleil would be the higher priority on her list, but I guess not. So, as an atheist, we don't pray, instead we question, often with a big smirk on our face. Atheists are big smirkers. Most people think I'm an asshole because my neutral face position is a smirk. This is when my face is relaxed, it's like this. What? I'm like, what? I'm just relaxed. But we're big smirkers. But atheists love the day after a big tragedy. I'm sorry to say that, but we do, because we like to ask this question of all the believers. We like to say, well, if there is a God, then why would he allow blank to happen? If there is a God, why would he allow the earthquake to happen? If there is a God, why would he allow suicide bombers? Why would he allow the hurricane? Where's your God now? Why would he do that? That's why people don't like atheists, because of that question. But the religious people all have the same response. It doesn't matter, Judeo-Christian, Muslim, Hindu, they all have the same response to that. And it is, well, God works in mysterious ways. Isn't that a fucked up loophole? That is such an excuse. Don't you guys wish you could use an excuse on your roommate, you know? Hey, Matt, how come you haven't taken out the trash and done the dishes? Well, Bob, I work in mysterious ways. Who knows my great plan? Take out the trash right now, Bob. I will smite you. Pillars of salt don't pay the rent. Remember that. So, we live in a nation where over 50% of the population of the United States of America believes in Genesis. And I don't mean just supports it and, understands it to be a parable. They believe in it literally. They believe that the world was created in 6 days, and they believe in creation. You guys know what creationism is. That's that God created man out of nothing and women out of a mud and a rib or something like that. Doesn't that piss women off a little bit? We were made out of mud and a rib, or I don't know. But they believe in that, and now they're trying, once again, seems to happen every 10 years, they're trying to teach it in our public schools. Do you guys have that going on here? Tell me about it. Where? Shout it out. Where? What's happening? Yeah, it's called like pandas and something or other. I don't even know what it's called. What were you talking about, ma'am? It's all of Texas they're trying to do it? Yeah. And you know what the new word for it is? Intelligent design. They dare to use the word intelligent in their description of creationism. Yeah, intelligent design. And in some states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Kansas, they actually want to put stickers in the biology books that they already do have, which are disclaimers in the evolution section that says that evolution is only a theory, it's a flawed theory, and other theories should be considered, such as intelligent design. This is public schools, not religious schools. Public schools, they want to put this sticker in. And I'm like, fine, put the stickers in the evolution section of the biology books, but then I want to put stickers in the Bible which says Jesus never existed. He was a combination of many martyrs. All these stories are parables. Don't take the Bible literally. You don't really look like God ugly. What I want to do. And I don't believe in evolution or creation. I want them to teach Santa Clausology, because I believe that Santa Claus created man as a toy for dinosaurs. Teach that in the public schools. And why do we need 10 commandments? Santa Claus has one commandment that covers it all. Don't be naughty, be nice. Doesn't that cover it all? The prison systems would be empty if everyone was not naughty and nice. There would be weed dealers in there, but besides that, it would be empty. Sorry. The last lecture was Won and Lost on Christian values. You guys know that. Gay marriage. Gay marriage upsets so many people. So the gays get married, that ruins everything. In Christian values, that term gets bandied about. The Pope says it all the time. He calls it truth. President Bush, every time he's on TV, he says something about Christian values. My grandmother, she used to talk about Christian values with my mother. She would send my mother these letters, like every couple of weeks, telling her how to live her life. And when my dad and my mom, got married, since my dad's Jewish and she's Christian, my grandmother thought we were all going to go to hell. So she would send these letters, and this was one of them. I had an experience in hot springs like I've never had before. In one way, it was so funny, it could be a scene from a comedy. That's good, Grandma, because it's in one right now. I got took, but good, in one of those Jew auctions, and with my eyes wide open, too. They are so very clever, and I mean sharp and clever, in human psychology. I'll admit that I don't begin to have the mental faculties to match wits with them Jews. Anyone who thinks they're smart enough to hold their own with a Jew doesn't know how stupid they really are. Because the main reason being that our ethical base of values are just plain not the same. Whoa. I read that, you ever see a bad movie? Every movie has to have they pull a quote from the reviews, even if they're bad reviews. They just take words out of context to make it seem like a good review. So my pull quote from this letter would be, Jews, sharp and clever. This is going to be a good letter. Whoa! Terrible letter. So these groups, now they're all these fundamentalist groups that tell us, what's bad and what's evil. like Focus on the Family. You guys heard that one? Yes, yes. You don't have to go to college to know about that. Focus on the Family. They're the ones that last February, they warned the entire country that SpongeBob SquarePants is gay. Do you guys remember that? Thank God they told us that. And I always thought that sponges were asexual. When they get really horny, they just split and that's it, you know? But apparently, SpongeBob SquarePants is gay. But what pissed me off about all the outrage over that was that everyone seems to ignore that Pepe Le Pew has been a rapist for 50 years. And a French rapist at that. Dirty, smelly French rapist. And come on, American ladies, if you're going to be raped, you want to be raped American. Am I right? Raped American! Not everyone was clapping on that. Yeah. But these groups, I don't have my list with me, but let me see. There's the Parent Television Council. That sounds like the parents watching TV for us. The Faith and Values Coalition. How can you be against values and faith? That must be a good group. The American Family Association. Wow, an association of all the families? That has to be good. Phyllis Schlafly has this group, the Eagle Forum. You gotta love eagles. Right? These all must be great groups. But they're under this banner group called the Gay Haters Federation, basically, right? But I like what they're doing there, though. They take all these warm and fuzzy words to kind of fool you, you know. So I started my own organization, and right now we're raising a lot of funds to buy me copious amounts of sushi and marijuana, and that's all we're really doing. But I'm trying to come up with a name for it, and I got 3 possibilities here. The America's National American Friends of the American Family Institute for America. That's based in Canada right now. The Don't Kill Puppies and Kittens Society. Yeah. Or Bald Eagle Cure Baby Cancer for America's Future Organization. Last one, yeah. That's why the eagles are bald, because of the baby cancer. So I'm going to pass the plate. You can put in any small donation, quarter, dime, nickel bag, whatever you have. So I can't see that part of the audience because of that spotlight, but I'm going to try to put my brick. Did you say fuck them? Wow. Maybe we'll have a little gang war later. That'd be fun. Well, I'm going to try to do a survey here. So let me see the Jews in the audience. Raise your hand, and not what you believe, but your heritage, like what your parents are. That's it. Okay, let me see. 1, 2, 3. Where are my Jews? Where am I? I can't see back there at all. Okay, see? Oh, there you go. Thanks. Okay, well, there are you Jews back there anyway. I would say roughly that's like 5%. Okay. Now let's see the Protestants there. Your heritage, not what you believe, but where you come from. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm seeing a big number coming up. Okay, so I'm going to say that's like 20%. And now how about my Catholics in the audience? Yep, that's America right there, people. That's like 60%. And what about my halfies out there? Half and halves. Half and halves, okay. And how about other? Other, okay, I'm curious. What are my others? What are you, ma'am? Well, I'm talking about your parents. Your parents are pagan? Were you born in a cave? You did what? You're born in your parents' house. That makes you pagan, huh? Okay. Okay. What about someone else? What else do we got out there? Southern Baptist. I'm going to put that under Protestant, but okay. Okay. What's that? And I'm a Baptist too. No, I understand, sir. Okay. Yeah, you Baptists are Protestants. You got to know that. What else? No Muslims out there? My Muslim fan base is just not working these days, huh? One? Hallelujah. My Hindus. My Wiccas. Okay, you can put that spotlight back on. So, and a lot of you might have been in the fuck you, none of your business category. And people do get a little defensive when you talk about your religion, you know. People are like, and even if you don't go to church or temple or synagogue or whatever, yeah, when people talk about your religion, there's some weird pride, defensive-ness down in your innards that you can't even identify until it's talked about. I don't think us halfies have that same pride. I didn't really go to anything on Sunday or Saturday. My Jewish grandparents just didn't give a fuck. They didn't teach me at all what it was to be Jewish. They taught me that smoked salmon is called lox, and that's about it. I learned the rest from Woody Allen movies, and then when I went to college, I finally started reading up on the Jews, and there were real New York Jews there, you know. So I started to meet the real ones, and the more I read about Jews, especially the Orthodox, the more I realized that they have the silliest, most stupid, ridiculous laws around. You can laugh at them. You guys are in the majority. There's only like 10 here. What are they going to do? Take your money, sir. That's bad. What you just said. We crossed the line. So what do we know about Jews? What can you Jews not do on the Sabbath? Use electricity? Yes, I want you Jews to answer. This isn't a concentration camp. I do not want the Jews to answer this question. What can you guys not do on the Sabbath? Drive a car? Yeah. Shave, that's amazing. Yeah, drive a car was the one that really interested me. Like, you can't drive a car on the Sabbath, so the Torah must be really looking ahead in the future. You know, if you really examine the Torah, is it going to be no time travel after sundown? We don't have it yet, but once you do, you can't do it after sundown. No hovercrafts on the weekends. So obviously the driving in cars isn't in the Torah, so why can't you drive? Whoever said driving, or anyone. It's work? What are you, Barney Rubble? It's not work. It's easy. Unless you get on these crazy highway system you guys have. What else? Why can't... Someone else had an answer. Why? Well, Priuses just came around, so why are you talking about electricity? Man-made products. Everything's man-made. Nope, that's not true. That's not why. Well, your Jew friend's lying to you. And probably because you call that person Jew friend. Hi, Jew friend. You want to go out tonight? Oh, you can't use man-made products, huh? I'd come over, but I guess you're naked right now. I guess you're sitting in a pile of leaves in your house. Yeah, your Jew friend might not know either because it's so ridiculous, but you can't... Did you know you can't make a flame? The real thing is you can't create. That's the real umbrella thing that makes all the things illegal. You can't create. People say work. The real word is create. You can't create a flame. So what does creating a flame have to do with driving? I get high before I get in the car, you guys are all saying to yourselves. So why? Does anybody know? Yeah, combustion engine. Thank you. When you turn the ignition, spark plug, makes a flame, starts the engine going. Isn't that ridiculous? And I think when the rabbinical council got together back in the Middle Ages or whenever they came up with that God was furious. He was looking down and goes, "Ah, Jews, stop being such nerds! But you said don't make a flame in the spark plug. Shut up, don't tell me what I said. Just don't be naughty, be nice. Jesus Christ." I was pissed. Silly Jews. I want to digress a little bit right now and talk about my baseball cap. What kind of hats do we have out in the audience here tonight? Any baseball caps? Baseball caps? God, I don't see many baseball caps at all. What kind of caps do we have? It's my theory that as a straight white male, you can only wear one kind of hat, and that's a baseball cap. You don't have to be a baseball player. But this is the only hat that we can get away with wearing. Now, like for instance, the cowboy hat. And I'm saying this in Texas too. I've done this joke in LA and New York, it has a little more relevance. But if you see a guy in a cowboy hat in LA, you think to yourself, that guy's from Texas or that guy's an asshole. Right? But now I'm in Texas and I want to ask you guys, I don't see any cowboy. Are there any cowboy hats out here that I'm missing? But you see, you guys deserve to wear cowboy hats because you got cows. You got longhorns wandering around the street. You guys don't kill them because they're sacred, right? Or is that India? Okay. But what do you guys think of guys in cowboy hats? They're dickheads. So you share the same opinion, kind of? But what if they're a cowboy? You'll give it to them if they're an actual cowboy, right? I mean, it's their job. It's like a fireman's hat. You know, you got the cowboy hat. So now I do see some newsy hats out there, guys, today. And this is my opinion on the newsy hat. Okay, first off, women and gay guys, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. You wear anything, and it's cute and it's clever. Look at my new podium hat. Oh, that's delightful. But straight guys, we can't do that. No. The black guys, you can wear one more hat than the white guys. You can wear that African hat with the green and the red colors and the yellow. Because no one's going to fuck with you on that. That's a weird hat. Oh yeah, it comes from Africa, motherfucker. That's cool. Wear your hat. But what about the newsy hats? And that's kind of a new thing in the last 2 years. I see a few out there. I don't accept the newsy hats, guys. When I see a guy in a newsy hat, I have to say, extra, extra, read all about it. Guy wears newsy hat from the 20s, looks like a prick. Can't do it. Only can wear the baseball cap. Now that takes me back to the Jews. Who has the lamest hats in the world? The Jews. Those silly little yarmulkes. Gotta hold it on with a safety pin or something. Don't even work, but the nut hat's the covering for my head because you said, shut up, it's on your head, it's a hat. It's just, and going back to being defensive about your religion, I always was defensive of my Jewish side anytime I heard the stereotype about Jews being cheap. You know, I always would, you hear about the new car, it stops, Jewish car, it stops on a dime and picks it up. Jokes like that. It's not funny and I would get mad. But then you see the yarmulke and you're like, come on, Jews, buy a full hat. Not just a top of a hat. Get a brim on that thing. Propeller, you've said enough, sir. Propeller, that's a beanie. I wish that was a popular thing, the propeller beanies. That came back, and the Jughead hats. Yeah, and that brings me to who has the coolest hats in the world? Who has the coolest, craziest, tallest, skyscraper, ornate hats in the world? The Catholics. Why do you guys get to wear those crazy fucking skyscraper hats? It's crazy. No, if I walked up here in a Pope hat, you guys would assume I'm doing a Pope character. And if I didn't do one, you'd go, that's a crazy asshole afterwards. Why do they get away with that? They're so tall, ridiculously tall. Head chefs think they're so cool until the Archbishop walks into the room. And they're just jealous. But I thought about it. Why? Why do all the Catholic clergy need these tall hats? And the more I thought about it, I finally figured it out. The Catholic clergy need these tall hats because it's always good to have a place to hide a small child. Wait a minute. Am I getting hisses on that? Am I getting hissed and owed on that? Okay, I want to point out one small thing then. This is a minor point, but I need to point it out. I've never fucked a kid in my life! Don't hiss me! I don't fuck kids! I just point it out! 1 point Matt Besser, 0 points Catholic clergy. There are no articles in the paper every day about me fucking kids. If you're gonna hiss me, hiss every fucking priest you see. Jesus Christ. And I was a substitute teacher for 7 years in the Chicago public school system. I could have fucked all sorts of kids for extra credit. I didn't fuck one. Give me a break. Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is so fucked up. It's so screwed up, guys. The Vatican is screwed up. They killed John Paul II, by the way. The last pope, they killed his ass. Because he was getting too old and senile, and they were afraid. They're not used to popes getting that old. They used to die earlier back in the old days. He was getting way too old and senile. When you get senile, you start blurting out secrets. And they're afraid he was going to go out there someday on the papal porch and we had the Lindbergh baby down in our catacombs and we fucked it into the ass till it got too hairy. Then we shellacked it and burned incense out of its butthole. Shh! Oh, no, not here! Michael Jackson is the second coming. We shall follow him into heaven where the streets are paved with babies' bottoms and children's balls grow from the trees. Snap. The Pope is dead! So what happened the day after the Pope died? Or not the day after, the weeks after, they elect the cardinals get together and they send the Indian smoke signal up in the air to inform us that there's a new pope, and then we read in the paper about the new pope. What struck you when you read that? Yeah, I heard a couple of different terms. Yeah, he's a Nazi. More specifically, Hitler Youth. And what's his name, or what was his name? That's his new name. Ratzinger. What kind of fucking name is that? It's like a name for an evil stand-up comedian. The Ratzinger. What kind of fucking... I read that the next day. Ratzinger, formerly Hitler Youth. I thought I was reading a synopsis of the new Die Hard movie or something. Some evil pope, you know? It's crazy. It's like, that's really what you're gonna pick to be your new pope? Ratzinger? So how do they get away with that? Why do the Catholics get away with doing all that stuff? You know, being mean to gays and women, and their biggest priority is not letting people use condoms so that all the black people in Africa can die of AIDS. Yeah, it's not funny, is it? But it's true. Why do they get away with that? Why do they get away with women not being allowed to have any power? The priests can't get married, so they get so sexually frustrated they have to fuck a kid. It's true. Why do they get away with it? Because they're big. You guys saw the hands? It's the majority of the world. It's the biggest, biggest and oldest. When things are big, old, and rich, they get to do whatever the fuck they want. Right? But to me, the Catholic Church is a crazy cult. It is a cult. And all cult, and you guys are like, you see how this audience got really silent? We're all loving the Jew jokes. And everything's silent all of a sudden. You're getting all defensive because that's your home, that's your blood. It's a crazy cult. You're like, no, come on, we can joke around, but it's a sacred religion. All a religion is an old cult. That's all it is. What about the Mormons? Those crazy bastards. Please don't hiss the Mormons. Oh, those people that wear black can ride horses. They're nice. Crazy motherfucker Joseph Smith. You know how he got started? He what's that? He started out as a con man. Well, he was always a con man. He used to have a divining rock and tell people where water was. That was his first job. And when that stopped working, all of a sudden an angel came to him and showed him these golden tablets up in the hills. And unfortunately, he couldn't show anyone else the golden tablets because the angel had to take them back. But he transcribed them all, and one of the first rules was all guys get to fuck 8 women at a time if they want to. Yeah, you like that rule. If that was the only rule, you would be Mormon, right? And then they eventually got rid of that rule after everybody lynched him for a couple of decades. And now there's Brigham Young University, and they're in the tournament every year. What? But no one thinks about it. No one cares. They own Utah. No one cares. They own Las Vegas. Nobody cares. The Mormons are so nice. Everybody makes fun of the Scientologists and the Moonies. The People's Temple. What else? You guys got any good cults here? People feel comfortable making fun of? What? Oh, what am I talking about? Fucking Waco. Yeah, burn them. Yeah, you guys at Koresh, what am I talking about? You had one of the most famous cults ever. Where do you think it ranks? There's Jim Jones and the People's Temple, Koresh, and the guys who wore Nikes and Heaven's Gate. Is that what they're called? Heaven's Gate. Yeah. Yeah, they're all pretty fucking crazy, I guess. In Arkansas, we had one when I was growing up called the Covenant Sword and the Arm of the Lord. Isn't that a great specific name for your church? I go to Second Southern Baptist. Where do you go? I go to Covenant Sword and the Arm of the Lord. Oh. I have to come by sometime. So back in the 80s when I was a kid, they had this big incident. They hijacked a Greyhound bus, and once they got all the media there, these 2 guys got off the bus. They were biker-looking dudes. They got off the bus and they pointed handguns at each other's heads, and they said, "We are martyrs of our religion, and in a week we're going to resurrect." And they shot each other in the head and died. And then a week later, they did not resurrect. So they're crazy bastards, but at least they're committed, right? And here's the question I want to pose to you. Okay, that's a crazy cult. Do you guys all agree on that? That's pretty crazy? Okay. So this is your choice. You can have 2 biker guys 50 yards away shoot each other with handguns, or you can have 1 Catholic priest fondle your child's balls for 30 seconds. Which do you choose, A or B? You're gonna choose A. I'll take it down to 5 seconds. Just 2 little love pats on your child's balls. Still A, huh? Right. I win. Crazy cult Catholics. Do you guys have any giant crosses in Austin? Where? What's it called? Is it on public land or is it part of a church? It's part of a church. So they have the right to do that. Oh yeah, I'm going to get to that. I know about that. I'm going to get to that. What's that? No cursing in this vicinity. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you guys know Groom, Texas, right? They have that. It's like a 90-foot cross. And then somewhere in Illinois, they built like a 91-foot cross to beat it. There's like this, who has the biggest penis game with crosses. Yeah, but at least they own the land that it's on. In a lot of states, especially California, there are these giant crosses on public land, and even in the government seals, and like the county seal of Los Angeles, for one. And the rationale always is, well, the reason we have it on public land and in the seals is because this is a Christian nation, and that's part of our history. And I'm fine with that if that's what you have to do, but to me, if you're going to put a cross on a seal, it should be thrust through the torso of a dead Indian. Because that's the history of the Catholic missionaries in California. Right? But they don't do that for some reason. But let's talk about the Ten Commandments. So yeah, I know you guys had, it went all the way to the Supreme Court. I think it was last year, wasn't it? So you guys have these giant hunks of granite Ten Commandments outside your county court buildings. Am I right? Is that in Austin or is that somewhere else in Texas? It's in Austin. Oh, great. So that happened in Austin, and then in Kentucky, the same issue, but they were putting Ten Commandments within the courtroom, you know, behind the judge's chair up on the wall, right? And so, of course, the ACLU has a problem with that and says you can't do that. There's a separation of church and state. You can't have the government say, we support this religion over all other religions, right? But the defense of that, once again, is, but the Ten Commandments is what American law is based on. That's what they tell us, okay? When was the last time you guys read the Ten Commandments? How many of those Ten Commandments do you really follow? I only follow 1.5. Seriously, I do. And I'm going to go through them right now. But what I've done is I'm not just going to bitch about things up here. I'd like to make changes. So what I've done is I've come up with some new commandments. So I'm going to read the old commandment and then suggest what my new commandment would be. So commandment number 1 is, thou shalt not worship any other God but Yahweh. God's kind of coming off like a needy girlfriend there, isn't he? Did I see you talking to Allah over there? Oh, Lord, Allah's very witty. We were just talking. You know. So I think, you know, that's an old commandment. None of you guys really follow that one. So my new number 1 is completely different. My new number 1 is, don't touch me. Isn't that a great commandment? I think that was probably the first rule of man back in caveman days, before there was even language. That was the first rule, was don't touch me. It was don't touch me. I like that one. So number 2, thou shalt not make a graven image. So what does that mean? Thou shalt not make a graven image. That's when a graven image is when you make a spiritless, worthless object. You worship it. You give it worth that it doesn't have, like a big granite hunk of 10 Commandments, basically, right? So I say, fuck that rule. Throwing that out the window. My new number 2 is, don't be lame. Isn't that awesome? Don't underestimate that, guys. Don't be lame. That covers a lot of ground there. That means no butterfly tattoos right above your ass. That means no food that comes in a pocket or a wrap. That means no bands that describe themselves as funky. That's a band started by a bass player. Be aware and stay away from that band. Bands should not be started by bass players. All right. Red Hot Chili Peppers somehow did it. It's never been done again. What else? What else, guys? What else is lame? Let's figure it out right now. What happened lame to you this week that you'd like to be done with? Shout it out. Work?
Saying you'll do some food, like I'll do the wrap.
Really? I haven't heard that one yet. That is pretty lame, though. What's that?
News hats.
Newsy hats. Thank you, sir. Call back. What else? Abbreviating things? But I love that, because when I text message, I have to do that. In speech, like, let me hear. Like what? Fresh. What if you're going to say, for sure that's fresh? How would you say that? Fresh? First squared? Confo? Oh man, I hate those people. People who say ciao for now. Fuck those people. With this commandment, they are dead. All right, you guys can email me the other ones. We'll get it going. All right, number 3, thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh in vain. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. There are people who actually follow this. My grandmother being one, of course. They'd say things like, golly. What does golly mean? What does that translate to? What's it mean? God. What's gosh darn mean? Right? Well, you're adding an it, but yeah, gosh darn it means God damn it, right? Shazam. Shit damn, right? Maybe not, but you guys, the golly and the gosh darn, you guys got that right away. Don't you think he gets that? Don't you think he sees through that charade? Right? You know, and I tried out this theory. I called my ex-girlfriend, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, I called her a bat fitch. The cum dunt got it right away. I had to sick slap her to calm her down. You still working that one out? So my new commandment for that one, it's kind of similar, but I think it'll make people much happier. Don't say a joke about AIDS. Are you with me? Yeah. Number 4, thou shalt not break the Sabbath. No problem, because I don't break the Sabbath every day of the week, because I never work. But I don't think any of you guys, care about that rule at all. So I got a completely new number 4. Number 4, don't bogart that joint. Seriously, people, take a hit, pass it on, then tell your funny story. Number 5, thou shalt not dishonor your parents. What if my mother is Courtney Love? What am I going to do? Right? There have to be exceptions, so that rule doesn't apply. But I do have a new commandment that I think it'll make parents just as happy. Number 5, close the screen door. Okay, number 6, this is the commandment I follow. This is the one I follow. Which one is it? Thank you, sir. Yes, I have never killed. Thou shalt not kill. That's a pretty good one. Pretty good one, thou shalt not kill. Would not have been my number 6. I think I would have put it up there at number 1. Was God running out of ideas? Let's see, number 6. Don't make fun of my beard. No. Thou shalt not kill. So, and our big Bible-thumping president, Bush, he's always talking about 10 Commandments, but that's the one he breaks. He's Mr. Capital Punishment. He's Mr. Send soldiers over to die in Iraq. He doesn't seem to get number 6. So, I got a new number 6, which it's just kind of clarifying the old number 6, which is, don't kill. No, really, don't kill. All right, and that brings me to Terry Schiavo. Do you guys remember her? Is she from Texas? I don't even remember. No. Fuck that coma lady. We never get comas here. So I supported removing the feeding tube. I really did. I did not believe she should have the feeding tube, but it wasn't because of the whole right to death issue. It was because I think she was starting to look a little fat. If you can't exercise, people, you gotta diet. All right. That offend you, sir? Too soon? Too soon? Well, you know what? It's not too soon because she's been dead 15 years! All right, number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. Let's be realistic, people. When these were made, these commandments, people lived to be an average age of about 35 years old at most, right? So marriages were about, 15 to 10 years, average. That made a little bit of sense. The same person after 15 years, not going to happen, people. Your parents are all fucking other people. I don't care what you think. What's going to happen to you too. All right? So this is my new number 7. It pertains to the old number 7. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Live by that. All right. Number 8. This is the one I half follow. I pretty much follow. Any ideas? Don't steal. Thank you. I do sample and share files. So I don't completely follow it, but I do like it. I just want to put it more contemporary terms. So my new number 8 is, don't touch my shit. And I think that was the second caveman rule. After don't touch me was, that's the wheel. The wheel almost got stolen. Number 9, thou shalt not bear false witness. No problem, because what the fuck does that mean? Bear false witness. Okay. I kind of got an idea, so I'm going to put it in more contemporary language. My new number 9 is, keep it real. Yeah. It means don't lie, you know? Like, for instance, let's say you see me after the show, or you see me a year from now, we bump into one another. See this guy, he hasn't laughed at me once this whole show. You bump into me at the bathroom, we're washing our hands. Don't say something to me like, hey, you really looked like you were having fun up there. Looked like you're having a lot of fun. Because that translates to, you're not funny. Just don't say anything or say you're not funny. Don't tell me I'm having fun. Fun is an emotion that occurs to me. I don't need to be told I'm having it. This isn't American Idol. All right. So, this is the last commandment. Thou shalt, who knows what it is? There's only one left. Covet thy neighbor's oxen. No, you guys are a little too specific on that. It's just thou shalt not covet. I think the wife falls under the adultery one. But yeah, thou shalt not covet. That's another word we don't usually use too much, you know. Dude, I'm totally coveting that chick over there in the tight sweater. You bear false witness on me? I'll make a graven image out of those titties right now. We gotta have coveting, guys. This is America, man. That's our whole economy is based on coveting. You know, advertising is all about getting you to covet, you know. We have to have coveting. So my new number 10 has nothing to do with the old one. My new number 10 is, don't be so uptight about asshole sex. Come on, brother, I want you clapping for that. Come on, there you go. Got a little reaction out of him. Don't be so uptight about asshole sex, people. E. coli is under control. And if you want to go back and look at the Old Testament, just about every rule comes back to asshole sex. If you really think about it, what happened? There was some stupid Jew back there then named Shlomo or something, and he fucked some guy in the ass and didn't wash his hands before he ate oysters and got shit all over it and got himself sick. And the rabbi, instead of trying to explain it to Shlomo, just said, no asshole sex and no shellfish. And that's it. But we got it all under control. We got baby wipes and shit. Soap. You guys can go back to pumping that hole. I want everybody to go home tonight if you're with your girl or guy, or guy and guy. I don't know what you girls are going to do, the girl and girls. Have some asshole sex for me tonight, and then send me an email describing it in detail. So another thing like that, and it goes back to, you know, well, our forefathers were Christian, and they wanted to make this a Christian nation. You'll always hear that. That's not true. Some of them were. What? Washington was, they like to point out all the time. But Jefferson wasn't, man. He was the cool pot-smoking dude. And Madison, they wanted to be secular. And secular means you can worship whatever you want to worship. Welcome to America. But yet, what do we have written all over our money? In God we trust. In God we trust. And that's been there since the original currency, right? No! Thank you, sir, for saying that in an angry voice. When was that put on the money?
1935.
I think 1954.
On the dime, it started in 35.
Oh, nice. He sounds so confident. I'm going to believe that. I still think he's trying to impress his chick he's with, but I'm going to give it to him. But on paper currency, it was 1954. That was during the Red Scare. That was during the we're Americans and they're commies and atheists, us and them. You know, that made us the God country. That was, part of McCarthyism was putting that on there. But that's not fair. In God we trust. This is a secular nation. If it's a secular nation, it needs to say, in God we trust unless we don't believe in God. That's wordy, but that's fair. Okay? Okay, get up. Okay. I finally offended him. He was into paper currency. Dude, I'm all about e pluribus unum. That's what it used to say, one for many. Or it used to say, what else did it say, Smarty? Liberty. That's a good word everybody can get behind, but now it says in God we trust. That's not fair for atheists, Well, why can't we have, if you're going to do that, then there should be cash for believers and cash for non-believers. There's different kinds of stamps. I don't make you guys use dinosaur stamps. Don't make me use your God cash. Right? What about the Pledge of Allegiance? Let's do it right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. What? I'm an atheist. Does that mean I'm not an American? When did they put that in the pledge, sir? Around the same time, 1954. They just shoved it in there. Under God. Before that, it wasn't there. Before the 50s, it wasn't there. They just stuck it in there. Under God. But I don't want to pledge to that. I can't see God. I don't want to have to pledge to that. I don't see Him. We're not under that. We're under Canada. I'll pledge to that. One nation, under Canada, above Mexico, indivisible. I'll say that. But you know what I'd rather say? I'd rather there be a fill in the blank right there. And everybody gets to say what you believe in at that point in the pledge. So, one nation, keeping fit. One nation, it's all good. Whatever you believe. One nation, woo, pig, SOOIE. That's what I would say. Woo, pig, SOOIE. One nation, woo, pig, SOOIE, indivisible. That's what I would say. Ma'am, I'm asking you right now, have you heard about the Arkansas Razorbacks? Our guard, Ronnie Brewer, son of Ron Brewer, part of the triplets in the 1976 Razorbacks, along with Sidney Moncrief and Marvin Delph. His son, Ron Brewer, a junior on the basketball team of the Razorbacks, is going to skip his senior year and hop into the NBA draft and might go as high as one of the top 20 picks as a junior. Hold on, our football team just got one of the best blue chip quarterbacks in the nation. We got one of the best quarterbacks, and we're returning pretty much all of our starters. Do you care about that at all? Be honest. No, you're not being honest. Don't lie to me. No, you don't. That's what fundamentalist evangelicals sound like to me. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. I've never knocked on someone's door in the morning on a Saturday and gone, have you heard we're returning all of our starters next year, the Razorbacks? Well, I'm not a Razorback fan. I'm the Longhorn fan. You don't believe in the Razorback defense of the new coordinator we got? I haven't been following that, no. Well, you're going to hell! I don't do that. I don't care who was into the Razorbacks or not.
It's enough just for me to be into them. I've never tried to pass pro-Razorback legislation in my life. Just upset my own self. You guys might think I'm being overreacting a little bit. But I get, okay, let's wait for a second. Had to sit right up front in the middle, didn't you? He had to what?
He had to piss.
Of course he did. Look at all those cans. He could have used one of those. If you were Jesus, you could have turned piss into water or wine. No, so what was I just talking about? Oh yeah, I get proselytized all the time because I have allergy problems.
How many people have allergy problems here? Okay, wow, more allergy problems than Jews. Interesting. Yes, I get proselytized all the time. Why? Because what do people say to you when you sneeze? God bless you. God bless you. And okay, if you really have allergy problems, you know what I'm talking about. Who here carries a handkerchief all the time? You see, that really separates the true people with allergy problems. Not many hands came up because handkerchiefs are embarrassing. But I do, because I have real, you can tell me now, I'm completely stopped up right now. But yeah, what happens when you sneeze? You sneeze, and then someone says, God bless you, and then you're doing this. People with allergy problems, what is this? What is this motion? Yeah, covering, it's snot control. Exactly, she said covering your snot. That's what that is. It's trying to get, the snot goes all over your hands and your face. It's all over this area and all over your hands, and you're just trying to stick it back up in your nose or into the handkerchief and away from your face and being embarrassed. That's what you're doing. So when someone says, God bless you, they're calling everyone's attention over to you while you're doing this. And some people, they got to God bless every single sneeze if you do more than one. Achoo, God bless you. Achoo, God bless you. Achoo, God, okay, God got it the first time. You don't need to be a tornado siren for my snot storm, thank you very much. Well, I wish we could God bless people when they said stuff that was stupid. Hey, I'm a big fan of that show, 2.5 Men. Oh, God bless you. Why don't people do that? You know, but God bless you. It started, once again, it started back in the day during the Black Plague, you know, when people sneezed, there was a good chance they'd be dead the next day. It made a little sense. The healthcare system was a jar of leeches and a shovel. It made sense to God bless people back then. But we took care of that. We've moved on. We got Sudafed. We got all Claritin. We got all this great stuff. We don't need that. God has more important things to figure out. He's up there above New Orleans or the Middle East or something. He's working on shit. His beeper goes off. Oh, it must be another war or a famine or something. Oh, it's Matt Besser's sinus problem again. And that's why my karma's so fucked up. You guys keep blessing the wrong thing for me. Don't bless my sneezes. God bless me some cell phone reception or a blowjob or something I can use. God bless that for me. That's what I want. And then some of you people, you know one German word. Yeah. Gesundheit. Gesundheit. And that really affects my half-Jewish side. When I'm in a moment of weakness, I don't need some Nazi command barked at me. If I trip and fall, you're going to say, Raus, Juden, raus! Of course not. You're still not laughing, sir. What did you cut? Do you think I was going to do the little Donnie Dick? What's it? You're stoned, right? All right. I'll find your thing. So why are sports and religion so tied up for me? Because I'm what? I'm a man? No, not all men are into sports. Sometimes they're into Star Wars instead. Battlestar Galactica. I'm into that too. So now I could have done the show, called it Adama. No, but yeah, When I was 8 to 12 years old, I went to a born-again sports camp called Kanakuk in Branson, Missouri. Anybody familiar with that? Yeah? Canacomo for the ladies? Who? Raise your hands. I'm really curious. That anyone go to it? Yell out if you went to it. Did you? Did you?
Yeah.
Really? Did you get your K?
Yeah, I was like 10 years old. I don't remember much.
I was stoned, man. Yeah, but it's a beautiful camp, right? I mean, looks-wise. Yeah, it's a beautiful... Did you go to K1 or K2? K7? Oh my God, I didn't know there were so many Ks now. When I went there was only 2 Ks, and the young one was K1, and the older guys were K2. And beautiful, beautiful. Every sports facility, anything you could possibly want in sports was there, and some of the best athletes in the Southwest Conference at the time were counselors there, great training in sports. But sports went hand in hand with religion all day long, all night long. And for instance, one time I'm doing the rope climbing exercise that you guys have all done in gym, right? If you had skinny arms like I do, you'd only get 3/4 up and you're never able to get all the way up. So every morning I'd do that and I'd come down. And this one morning I'd get 3/4 up, I'm starting to come down. The counselor goes, "No, Matthew, don't come down. I want you to climb the rest of the rope. Climb the rope for Jesus." Children love to chant, so this becomes a chant. Climb the rope for Jesus. Climb the rope for Jesus. Climb the rope. So, you know, Jesus never came around and gave me any more strength, but I did go at least one more notch. But as you know, you do have to have some strength to come down the rope, too. And if you don't, you get rope splinters in your balls. Unless you're a woman, and then I don't know what happens. You probably orgasm, actually. It's probably a good thing. Oh! God. I don't know what happens there, but as a kid, I felt like a failure. I get to the bottom of the rope, I'm like, Jesus didn't come around. I don't know what happened. So it got worse though on one of the last days of camp. They had the swim meet, and I was a terrible swimmer, but you had to participate in the swim meet. My swimming classification was tadpole. I wasn't even a fish. I was an unformed frog. That's what kind of swimmer I was. I was a terrible swimmer, so you had to do at least one event in the swim meet. What do you think? What stroke do you think I chose? I did the relay. What stroke do you think I chose? Breast. People say it all the time. Is that an official event, the dog paddle? And now the retard swim. Whoever splashes the highest wins. I wish I could have done the dog paddle. No, breast. It wasn't breast. Yes, back, butterfly. That's the hardest one. I would have broke my arms trying to pull that off. Yeah, why do you think the backstroke, sir? It is easy, but what my philosophy with the backstroke was, when you do the backstroke, your head never goes below the water, so that way I won't drown. That's how I thought. But here's the flaw of the backstroke. If you have skinny arms and you're not a good swimmer, what happens in the backstroke? Your right arm is stronger than your left, and about halfway through, you do like a little half moon into the ropes. So that's what I did, and that's when I started doing the dog paddle, when I got caught up in the ropes, and I'm trying to backstroke, I'm dog paddling, I have this hybrid kind of stroke going on. And every other lane finishes, you know, first place, second place, third place, fourth place. Everybody finishes, and my cabin loses once again. And I'm like, oh, the race is over. That's good. I grab the rope, and I start pulling myself into the side of the pool. All the counselors jump in the pool, like 3 counselors. They get me off the rope. They surround me. Swim the lap for Jesus. Now it's the whole camp. 1,000 people, all the parents are there. Swim the lap for Jesus. I'm swimming for Jesus, Aquaman, Poseidon, everybody. The chicken of the sea. I'm trying to access everyone, and just ended up being a loser once again. So after the swim meet, I'm feeling really bad. I'm losing, not just me, for my cabin, you know? And I really got in my head the reason that I was a bad athlete was because I was half Jewish. I thought my Jewish dad was making me a bad athlete. And that's why I wasn't able to bring Jesus' power into my sport. So I felt bad, and I had to get this off my chest, so I talked to my confidant, my best friend in my cabin, Ray, and I pulled him aside. I'm like, Ray, I gotta tell you something I don't want you to tell anybody, but my dad is Jewish. What? My dad is Jewish, don't tell anyone. No, really? Yeah, don't tell anyone though. Okay. So that night at devotion, you guys know what that is? That's a Baptist term, isn't it? Yeah, devotion is what is the prayer you do at night before you go to sleep, and we'd go around the cabin and everybody say their prayer, and it's out loud, and it comes to Ray, and his prayer pretty much was like, "Dear Lord, I hope Matthew doesn't go to hell because his dad is Jewish. Amen." And it's dark in the cabin, and there's a silence. And the counselor says, "Ray, that's not true, don't lie. Matthew's dad is not Jewish." And I go, "Well, actually, my dad is Jewish." More silence. "Well, we all have hurdles in life we have to overcome. Everybody go to sleep." So it's the last day of camp. Our parents are all waiting in the parking lot for us to bring the trunks. But before we do that, they get us on the indoor basketball court and they show us a movie. And it's presented to us like it's a documentary. It's about the rapture, Judgment Day, Armageddon, right? And as you guys know, on Judgment Day, as this film explained to us, if your soul is saved, you get to rise up into heaven, literally. You get to rise up into heaven. And if you don't, if your soul is not saved, you burn on earth, and Jews are the kindling. That's how it's explained. And the film ends, and the head of the camp says, "Right now, I want everyone who has asked Jesus into your heart and is saved to stand up right now." At least half the camp stands up. He says, "Okay, now we're going to go cabin to cabin, boy to boy, and we're going to give you a chance to stand up and ask the Lord into your heart." So they went to each cabin, and everybody in the entire camp stood up and accepted the Lord, except for one, and that was me. And I sat there Indian style, and I didn't raise up. And I'd like to say that it's because I had my half-Jew power fist up in the air, and I was going to refuse to do that. But what it was humiliation. I really felt that if I did stand up, that someone was going to go, "He's a Jew," or the Lord was going to go, "Your half-Jewish ass isn't coming to heaven." But what I felt most of all was the ostracism. I felt, if you've ever been singled out by the majority in any way, you know what that feels like. You get this red-faced anger that doesn't go away. And it was that day, as a 12-year-old, that I decided if that's how God wants to get people into his club, then fuck God. That's what I said. You don't have to clap, because I don't need you guys to believe that. You probably believe it already, and you're just showing support, and I appreciate that. But I don't care what people believe, frankly. And people believe some crazy stuff. You might believe that God is up in the heavens and he has a big gray beard. You might believe that God is, they're goddesses and they're little sprites in the water and trees. Or you might believe that it's okay to get up in the middle of a show and go take a piss when you're sitting in the front row. But I don't care. I really don't care. You can believe whatever you want to believe. Just don't make me believe what you believe. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So I want to read one last letter here tonight. And this is a letter that my mother got after she was married to my father for about a year. And it came from a friend of the family. This letter is not meant to hurt or make you angry. Take it any way you want, but there's nothing in it but unadulterated truth. When you first came to Little Rock, you were known and thought of as the golden girl who had everything, and I mean everything. looks, class, education, darling, classy parents, a family name that any door in Arkansas would open to. But either through sheer stupidity or the worst misplaced set of values of any girl I've ever known, you've thrown everything out the window. Your Jewish parents are known as the typical little Jews that no one wants to know socially, and their name couldn't get you in the back door of Hank's Dog House. That's a hot dog restaurant, and they can't get in the back door of it. When I see you dragging around that emaciated, dyspeptic, tubercular-looking little Jew all your life, hoping everyone will accept him and like him, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. You are so pathetic looking. He was even repulsive to the girls in high school because they said he had a gravedigger laugh and he always had moist, sweaty hands. You have a real albatross around your neck, kid, and apparently you're too stupid to even know it. Have a great future birthing a lot of little Izzy Bessers who look and talk as much as their Jewish grandma and are as phony as the character you chose for their father. A lot of happy Hanukkahs and Passovers, kid. You've paid the highest price of any girl I know. Mary Hall. My mother didn't know anybody named Mary Hall. And she thought to herself, who is this friend of the family? But she quickly noticed that the font of this letter was the same font of letter of all my grandmother's letters. So my grandmother, not being able to spew this bile herself, found herself an anonymous name, kind of like the internet. And she spewed it, and she drove like 30 miles out of town and mailed the letter. That was her clever way of trying to hide it. But that's what she did. And I don't read this letter or say all these things about my parents to go, feel sorry for my parents. I don't want to say, feel sorry for me, the half-Jew from the South. You know, I didn't go through anything compared to my dad, a full Jew in the South, who in the 50s had the kids in his neighborhood, they tied him up to the tree in a mock crucifixion. I never had that happen to me. I didn't even go through what my gay friends went through in high school, who I didn't know, or they didn't tell me they were gay. They were too terrified. And they were the ones who introduced me to the B-52s, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and rum drinks. And I didn't know any of those things were gay until I got to college. They were just cool. But they were ostracized, you know. The gays are kind of the new Jews, you know. They have to go through that bullshit right now. And I'm not even saying feel sorry for them. I guess what I am saying is I would like to sneeze in peace. I'd like to climb the rope for whoever the fuck I want to. I want to be able to go into the front door of Hank's Dog House. And most of all, I want to wear any hat that I want to and not be called an asshole. And if I can do that, I'll stop calling newsy hats assholes. All right. So I know we're in Texas, and you guys, none of you have probably ever called the hogs before. But I want you to do a favor for me. I've been asked to pray at weddings and graduations and all sorts of public ceremonies, and I've been a good sport about it. So right now, I'm hoping you guys would just help me end the show right now and call the hogs. This is how you do it. You go, woo, pig, SOOIE. And you do that 3 times, and after the 3rd time, we go Razorbacks, okay? Will you guys do that for me, just in the spirit of coming together? Okay, let's do this. You, sir, will you do it? Will you come up here and stand by me? Come on, man. You haven't been enthusiastic about anything. All right, he's not going to do it, but he will do it, so focus on it. Okay, here we go. Woo! Pig! SOOIE! Woo! Pig! SOOIE! Woo! Pig! SOOIE! Razorbacks! Thanks a lot, guys. You've been really great. Thanks.